Brothers, we are in the 4th chapter of the book Wisdom Literature, and the 1st chapter is Ways of Wisdom in the book of Kohelet, and the subtitle for the book is Happiness in the World That is Absurd or Incomprehensible. Happiness in the world which is not incomprehensible. And there we have introduction. Second point, Kohelet draws consequences from the battle of Job. Second point. Third point, historical background to Kohelet, book of Kohelet. Fourth point, Kohelet the skeptic. Sixth point, the structure of the book of Kohelet. Sixth point, nothing new under the sun. Point 7, challenging the crisis of wisdom. Point 8, would not God be more than fate? Question mark. 9, enjoy the finer things in life. And point 10, finally, welcomed book of Kohelet, welcomed in the Bible still. Said is a book of skeptic and all these things, okay, still it is welcomed in the book of Bible. Let us evaluate why and what reasons it is welcomed in the book of Bible. Yeah. Introduction. As I have told you, book of Job, an unanswered question, book of Job or book of Job that opens with the Job's reaction to God's answers would enable book of Kohelet to understand it more clearly. Book of Job, as we have said already, Job 42:6. 42:6. I despise can be translated as I lost interest. Now this I lost interest, the comment of Job, can be understood as he did not want to know. He abandoned the quest for God. He abandoned the quest for God, or he began the quest for God. He started understanding of God. Now if he has really started quest for God, the answer is in the book of Kohelet. Why innocent suffers? What should be his attitude when he is suffering? Book of Kohelet gives answer for that. Now with this introduction, we begin. Both book of Kohelet and Job they have so much in common that God's speeches are presented in the book of Kohelet too. Kohelet continues Job's book, where Job 38 to 42 chapters, they present image of God. Likewise, book of Kohelet also presents the image of God. Some of the speeches about God in Kohelet, in book of Job, seems to be summaries of the image of God in book of Job. What we are trying to say, the image of God that is present in the book of Job is being continued in the book of Kohelet. Kohelet summarizes what is God. And we'll see in the book in more detail. Coming to the second point, Koheleth draws consequences from the battle of Job. Let's open our Bible. According to Koheleth, first point, what conclusions or what consequences he draws from the book of Job? Koheleth says, God is the absolute master of the world. God is the absolute master of the world. Koheleth, book of Koheleth, after Proverbs is the book of Koheleth. Chapter 3, verse 11 we will read. Verse 11. I know that whatever God does endures forever. What the book of Koheleth is saying? What the book of Koheleth is saying? After Proverbs, after book of Proverbs, we have the book of Ecclesiastes or Koheleth. You are looking Koheleth and you are not finding Ecclesiastes. Sorry, so another name is Ecclesiastes. Because the Hebrew name is Koheleth. Hebrew name is Koheleth. So therefore, let's see. So what book? See, the image of God that is presented in the book of Koheleth is God is the absolute master of the world. And what did book of Job said? God is the arbiter. Did we say yesterday? Yes. Concerning Job, he makes a lot of accusations to God, saying God is the arbiter, God is not absolute power, he is a cruel, he is a persecutor. He was going on accusing God, right? That was the image of God presented in the book of Job, or at least in the accusations of Job. Now, book of Koheleth says, that's not true. God is the absolute master of everything. Chapter 3, verse 11. And according to book of Koheleth, God is the master of particular days of man. God is the master of not only the world and all these things, he is also master of each day of human's life. Therefore, human life is under God's control. Book of Koheleth vehemently says, human life is under God's control. So man cannot escape God. But whereas book of Job says, no, God is not minding us. Innocent suffering doesn't make any meaning to God. That's what book of Job, or at least Job's accusations would report. But rather, book of Koheleth says, human life is under God's control. Therefore, enjoy the happy things. Okay, reference is 8:15. Ecclesiastes 8:15. We'll read 8:15. So, I command enjoyment, for there is nothing better for people under the sun than to eat and drink and enjoy themselves. For this will go with them in their toil through the days of life that God gives them under the sun. We'll also read 5:17. 5:17. Besides all their days, they eat in darkness, in much vexation and sickness and resentment. So through this, if we continue that, under that, this what I have seen to be good, is fitting to eat and drink, find enjoyment in all the toil with which one toils under the sun, the few days of the life God gives us, for this is our lot. So this is the second premises of book of Koheleth speaks about or says about God. And book of Kohelet says, though we are righteous and good, though we are righteous and good, sometimes God's policies are shocking. God's way of doing is shocking. Policies. Though we are righteous and good, sometimes God's policies are shocking. Good and evil perish likewise. So don't be shocked. So one fate comes to good and bad. Book of Job says, man, there is for everyone same lot. So don't be shocked, because you don't understand why good and bad perish. Why all die? You will not understand. This is shocking. Good supposed to survive, or go, at least, and bad supposed to perish, but finally all perish. Everyone die. So this is shocking. Shocking concerning what kind of policy God follows. We understand, we question, but we can't understand that. Kohelet 9:1-2. 9:1-2. Let's see. Kohelet 9:1-2. All this I said to heart, examining it all, how the righteous and the wise and their deeds are in the hand of God, whether it is love or hate, one does not know. Everything that confronts them is vanity, since the same fate comes to all. So either wise or fool, either good or bad. For everything, everyone have to undergo same lot, that is death. So this is shocking. But therefore, because this is shocking, it says, do not be wondered at these kind of decisions of God, because you don't understand. And he also says, fourth point, it is impossible to know the plan of God. It is impossible to know the plan of God. Kohelet 3:1, 3:11. He has made everything suitable for its time. Moreover, he has put a sense of past and future into their minds. Yet, they cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. Which means, God's plans cannot be known. Therefore, don't go and think about what God is planning to. So, book of Kohelet would say, book of Job, what did he say? Rebellion or submission. Book of Kohelet is answering submission. Book of Kohelet would say submit. Because you will not know that the plans of God we cannot know. Because you cannot know everything, you do not know God's actions too. Because you cannot know everything, can we know everything? No. Therefore, you do not know God's actions. Therefore, don't ask a question, why God does these things? What God wants? God wants man to be humble. 3:14. Kohelet 3:14. 3:14. Yeah. I know that whatever God does endures forever. Nothing can be added to it, or nothing can be taken from it. God has done this so that all should stand in awe before Him. So why God does some things? We do not understand. That we try to understand, it is a wonderment for us. We wonder it. Therefore, because man couldn't know the things that God is doing, you are to be humble before God. Because you humble, therefore, what is the meaning of humbling before God? Our attitude should be before God is fear of God. Fear God. Our attitude, because we cannot know the things of God and God's plans, God's actions. Therefore, what we have to do? We have to, at the one hand, humble ourselves before God. Second thing, fear Him. The attitude of fear before God. The world is created in order. World is created in order. But we do not understand God's plan. What is God's order? What kind of order God has put? We do not know. I used to tell often this one small story concerning why we do not understand the plans of God. It seems there was a man going on questioning God concerning. You have seen a pumpkin plant is growing there on the ground. Creeper is very small and the pumpkin is really very big. Therefore, he said to himself, what kind of God is he? He has no proportion in his mind. Such a small creeper and such a big fruit to that. He is going on questioning God. He doesn't have mind. He doesn't have sense. He doesn't have that sense of proportionality. He is going on questioning God. So, he was traveling through and on his way, he felt asleep. Therefore, he took a shelter under this banyan tree. Banyan tree, you know, all of you know banyan tree, with a lot of good shade in the forest. So he was sleeping. So meanwhile, he got up. Why he got up? Because now and then small fruits are falling on him. Then he realized, he opened, what is this disturbing me? Small fruits, that banyan fruits, small fruits are falling. Then he understood. The banyan tree is such a big one and its fruits are bigger than that, and if they fall on me, what would be the case of me? So therefore, don't try to enter into God's plans, God's designs. God's designs are God's designs, and they are there. You can't question why a pumpkin fruit is so big and why such a mighty banyan tree's fruit is so small. You can't think from your mind and say why they are like that. And you can't fool God telling this is wrong. And you can't say God is without wisdom and you are a lot of wisdom. No, you can't think like that. So brothers, so this is what happens. Book of Kohelet is saying, man, Job, you are questioning so many things, but you are not able to understand God's plans. So what is the validity of your questions? Can your questions be valid before God? He says no. Therefore, God has created order in the world, but we don't understand God's plans. Because there is a gap between God and we. God is in heaven, we are on earth. So we don't understand God's actions and God's plans. 5:2. Ecclesiastes 5:2. Shall we read? Yep. Never be rash with your mouth, nor let your heart be quick to utter a word before God. For God is in heaven and you are upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. The wisdom of the Proverbs. You should not speak more words, and therefore you will be counted guilty. Let your words be few before God. This word we should tell to pastors, no? These fellows go on, speak, go on. And our people also. The one who speaks more, he thinks they are of more word of God. And therefore they run here and there. Word is not here, word is not there, word is not. No. More than that, it is your participation in the prayer. Word is not. So that's a bypass. So therefore, brothers, book of Ecclesiastes is confronting us, making us know what we are. It is helping us to understand our littleness and magnifying God's glory. So book of Kohelet in chapter 8:14 would say, righteous sometimes are treated badly, wicked are treated rightly. So therefore no theory of retribution. It's not, Job is telling, just man should receive benefit now. Why I am a just man? Why I am suffering? Book of Kohelet say, nothing of that sort would work, man. Even at times, righteous are treated badly, wicked are treated rightly. Therefore, this is the Lord. This is the incomprehensible nature of the thing. So these are the consequences book of Kohelet draws. Along with that, we will have three conclusions. The consequences are different from conclusions. I'm dictating three conclusions. I'll dictate, please, you can write. Conclusions that Kohelet draws from the battle of Job. Three conclusions. These are consequences so far what we said. Now we are going to say conclusions. First conclusions. Enjoy life as God allows it. Enjoy life as God allows it. You can't go and question God what and all these things. Rather, what should be your attitude now here is not question but submission and accepting what God has allowed you. Therefore, if God has allowed you the class on wisdom literature, enjoy it. So therefore, book of Kohelet would say, enjoy life as God allows it to be. Second conclusion. Resign yourself to the incomprehensible nature of the things of the world. You do not understand everything. Therefore, resign. Rebellion or submission. Book of Job is raising the question. Whether you will submit to God or you will rebel against God. Book of Kohelet is telling, no way to rebel against God, because you don't understand. Therefore, what you do? You resign. Resign in the sense not resign and going. No. You submit yourself. Resign would mean submitting. Submit yourself to the incomprehensible nature of the things of the world of God, because you do not understand. And it also tells, be quiet. When you don't understand something, what you have to be, what should be your attitude? Be quiet. That's why, some say keep quiet, because you don't understand, you have to keep quiet. Sometimes we have to keep silence, keep mum. And according to book of Proverbs, keeping mum is a ways of wisdom. A fool becomes wise by his keeping silence. Third point, Kohelet criticizes book of Job. Don't dispute with the stronger one, that is God. Book of Kohelet criticizes Job, telling, don't dispute with the stronger one than you, that is God. 6, 10 and 11. 6, 10 and 11. Kohelet 6, 10 and 11. Do not criticize, Kohelet says, Kohelet criticizes Job, saying, do not dispute with the stronger one than you. Do not dispute with the stronger one than you, that is God. We'll read the reference. Kohelet 6, 10 to 11. Whatever has come to be has already been named, and it's known what human beings are, and that they are not able to dispute with those who are stronger. What is our nature is? Human nature is, we cannot fight with those who are stronger than we. Can we? No way. Can we win? It's not possible. You cannot win stronger one. Therefore, Kohelet is advising Job, or advising us, better do not quarrel with God, because He is stronger than you. Do not fight with God. Do not question God. So these are the conclusions Book of Kohelet draws from. Coming to third point, historical background. Historical background. Concerning the historical background of Book of Kohelet, it's same as that of Book of Job. Both are from aristocratic background. Both books come from elite background. Job is an elite person, right? We said Book of Job is an elite, coming from elite society. Likewise, Book of Kohelet is coming from elite society. We shall read Ecclesiastes 1:1. The words of the teacher, the son of David, the king of Jerusalem. What is the background of the author of the book of Ecclesiastes? He is from an elite society. He is from a rich background, a wealthy man. Kohelet also comes from same rich background. He has servants. Now we should understand the context of book of Kohelet. As we said, book of Kohelet is coming from historical background, which means we will study who is the author, where is the place it is written, from which background it is coming, all that we will be studying. That's very important to understand any book. Likewise, book of Kohelet is coming from rich background. We said the context is exilic and post-exilic context. The book of Kohelet is from exilic and post-exilic context. Exilic time. Before exile, people of Israel, those who are rich in the land, what was their understanding? Please listen, brothers. Very important matter. Book of Kohelet falls into two backgrounds. Would speak about exilic and post-exilic situations. Now, before exile, there were in the land rich Israelites. And what they were thinking? They were thinking, riches are blessings from God. We are righteous, therefore God has blessed us with riches. So this was their understanding. Doctrine of theory of retribution. They are accepting doctrine of theory of retribution. We are blessed, we are rich, therefore we are blessed. We are good, therefore God blesses us. Now richness is identified as blessings of God. Richness is addressed as blessings of God. Now who is blessed? Are righteous. Good ones are blessed. Therefore this was their understanding. But when there was an exile, when foreigners came and they have taken them as deportees, and they became poor, they became slaves, the same rich here, they became slaves, and they do not understand why God has done these things. They say, where is this retribution is gone? Why we are poor? So this is the context in which book of Kohelet is coming from. On their return back, they are poor. Say, during the Persian period, they are given freedom to come back. During the post-exilic period, they came back to their original land. And when they came, it's all utter poverty and all these things. Okay, land is devastated, temple is destroyed, no fields, and houses are all burnt. So this is the situation when they came back. Now when they see, they don't understand why it is. Now book of Kohelet is coming from such a background. Now whether to question God, what should be our attitude towards God? So now they are trying to answer the situation there. So you don't understand why these things happen. You can't, therefore what you do? You have to submit and you have to accept the things the way they are. During and after exile, they were dependent on foreign rulers, foreign powers. They could not decide for themselves. This is due to their suffering during and after exile. Their attitude towards God is changed. In exile, they felt the absence of God. During this time, the world order, the one who governs it, become incomprehensible. God seemed walked away, or he seemed as if he is hiding. So this is their understanding. After their return from exile, they see lot of suffering and all that. They are to pay taxes to the foreign rulers, as we have said in the last class. In the book of Job we have said, right? And after their coming, they felt when they went to exile as slaves, they thought, okay, God was blessing us so far, and now where is he? They were feeling the absence of God. If God were to be blessing them, they will not have this kind of slavery. So this was. They were feeling the absence of God. They felt as if God is not there. And they were thinking, oh, there must have been no world order or one who governs it. We cannot understand him, why he does certain things certain way. Or sometimes they themselves were thinking also that God is hiding from them. So this is the background of the common people of the time. So from this background, book of Kohelet comes, and it is trying to answer some of the questions, especially the absence of God or incomprehensible nature of the things. Why they have become slaves? Why they have to pay taxes? They are good. They are God-fearing. Why they are experiencing all these things? Is there God? Is there world order? Is he protecting us? So these are the questions raised. And to these questions, book of Kohelet, so far what we have said, is trying to answer. This is the historical background and the context for the book of Kohelet.